When I started working with people with dementia, I had to get used to seeing rooms where people would be slumped in their chairs, their heads nodding forwards, really looking at the ground. There are so very few things that people with dementia can seem to be enjoying, that can seem to make them happy. To see the recognition, that flicker of life suddenly happen, then that is of the greatest satisfaction. It started when I was doing an educational project for Hampshire County Council, and one of the arts officers of the council asked me if I knew any musician who was used to working with elderly people. I said, no, musicians are trained to work with younger people. But I had one project where I'd worked in a day centre, and I had taken along a lot of my school percussion instruments, and we'd improvised music.
We'd been doing quite a lot of education work, but Oxford was just completely crowded out with ensembles doing that, and I really wanted to do something for people for whom no one was doing anything, which was basically Alzheimer's. And I was fascinated when Andrew told me, and he said, you won't believe it till you see it, which is true, because I used to be a nurse. I started off at Great Ormond Street in the Middlesex, so obviously I've got an interest in trying to help if people have got something they can't get over. And it was just magical. It just made the whole thing of running an orchestra mean. It was like my whole career coming full circle.
To someone who's never seen one before, it's very difficult, because I never actually know what the sessions are going to be like. They actually get on with things. I'm only doing my bit in the sessions. They're all doing bits as well, and they're all doing bits which I'm not controlling. Maybe my selection of the music, my ability to program an iPod and to put it on a player, to select music of a certain tempo, to select music which is a favourite for someone in that room. Maybe those things are down to me, but an awful lot of it is down to the people in the room actually taking part, actually enjoying being able to click a rhythm in time with the music that we've got.
The thing that Andrew does that's so different is having instruments as well as the words, and having there's actually an interactive process that even if they're not going to sing, they've got something to shake on. They're part of it. The rhythm that they'll suddenly demonstrate by, they tap in at the right speed in the right places, which is really, really good. And I think the community thing as well, the fact we're sort of all sitting around and they can copy. So I notice that some of them look across to the other to see what they're doing, and then they shake their whatever they've got in a similar way. And so I think it's reaching inside the brain on different wavelengths and somehow producing some of these memories.
Well, in the most immediate, obvious sense, it's one of just fun and enjoyment, people tapping their feet and recognising a song or the words of the song. But then, we've noticed that for at least a day afterwards, several of our patients are actually more well. Their spirits are a little bit higher, they're a bit calmer, happier, and I think that's the true therapy of it all.
So yeah, I think it's the sort of atmosphere is nice. And normally if she comes down here and it's very busy, she gets quite agitated. But when there's music, I think she reacts to it. And all her life she told me she couldn't sing. But this afternoon, when Lindsay and your father was here, she was obviously trying to sing, which was very moving, I must say.
It's good to see everybody getting involved and then bring obviously instruments around for everybody to be able to play and feel that they're part of it. And it was good stuff to see. It's nice to see them sort of involving everybody.
It's the rhythm. As soon as she starts to hear the music, you can see her moving her hands up and down like that. Whereas normally, and also she sort of reacts to, she hasn't said anything for weeks, and yet when Andrew was there, she said, "Thank you very much."
I'm obviously distressed. I haven't got him at home and that. And music makes a lot of difference. I listen to a lot of music at home as well. It makes a lot of difference to me. And I know to him because he's the same.
I think it's vital that they carry on. I think it should be nationwide. I think it should be backed to the hilt by businesses. It's something, any of us could end up with this disease. They keep finding ways to delay what's going to happen inevitably, but they haven't found a cure, and they're very unlikely to find a cure for the next decades. There are already 1 million, it's going to double in the next 10 to 15 years. So there's going to be more and more of a need for it. And the thing is, it has to be not just Andrew. He couldn't work 365 days a year, 5 sessions a day, which is what you would need. But there should be, if people would recognise that there is such value in it, then one could train other people.
I don't believe that it costs a lot of money, but I do believe that it was one of the only things which provided this communal atmosphere which made people in dementia homes all smile together, all respond from each other. Whilst I understand the being cutbacks and everything, I'm not sure that this is an ethical cutback.
You're not living in anything other than the moment with Alzheimer's. The past has gone. The future, they certainly wouldn't be thinking about. The moment is what matters. And they get this something that then links them somehow and makes them happy. You see the smiles. There were an awful lot of smiles today. But the fact is, in an hour, you've managed to do something wonderful for so many people. And as I say, not just the ones suffering from Alzheimer's.
If I feel I'm winning a smile from people who seem to be in a distant place most of the time, that is such a big reward that it almost beats playing in the Albert Hall, frankly.